This lesson is about the rock cycle. In our last lesson, we learned that rocks can form in three ways. Igneous rocks, called fire rocks, form when melted rock, either lava or magma, cools and hardens to form brand new rock. Sedimentary rocks, called layer rocks, form when weathering and erosion breaks rocks into small bits called sediment. Sediment piles up, forms layers, and then squeezes together so tight that it cements into another, different rock. Metamorphic rock, called changed rocks, form when a rock gets pushed deep underground. The heat and pressure underground act like a big oven that cooks the rock and changes it into a different, harder rock. In this lesson, we will explore how rocks can change from one type of rock into another type of rock. This is called the rock cycle. You have probably already learned about the water cycle, where water changes as it moves around Earth, and the life cycle, where organisms change as they grow. The most important thing to know about the rock cycle is that any type of rock can change into any other type of rock. An igneous rock can be changed into a sedimentary rock or a metamorphic rock if the conditions are right. A sedimentary rock can be changed into an igneous rock or a metamorphic rock if the conditions are right. And a metamorphic rock can be changed into a sedimentary rock or an igneous rock if the conditions are right. This is the rock cycle. So how does it work? You are looking at the rock cycle diagram. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize it. You just have to be able to read it and understand what the arrows are telling you. Each arrow represents something happening to the rock. The arrow points from the old type of rock and points to the new type of rock that is being formed. So all you have to do is read what's happening on the arrow and then look at the direction the arrow is pointing to see the new rock that is being formed. Let's start on the right side, in the middle. See the magma? We already learned that magma forms igneous rocks when it cools and hardens. Next, look on the left side and find the sediment. We already learned that sediment can squeeze together to form new sedimentary rocks. Finally, look down on the left. See the heat and pressure? We need heat and pressure to form metamorphic rocks underground. So that's all we need: magma, sediment, and heat and pressure to complete the rock cycle. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Find the igneous rock at the bottom right. Remember, it formed when melted lava or magma cooled and hardened. Three things can happen to that igneous rock. Look at the green arrow next to the igneous rock. It says erosion, deposition, and cementation, and it's pointing up to the sedimentary rock. That means that the igneous rock has been broken down by erosion, formed into layers, and then cemented into a new sedimentary rock. The igneous rock has changed into a sedimentary rock through the process of breaking into sediment and squeezing into layers. Make sense? Now, look at the purple arrow next to the igneous rock. It says changing temperature and pressure, and it's pointing over to the metamorphic rock. This means that the igneous rock has been pushed underground where there's a lot of heat and pressure. This heat and pressure cooks the rock and changes it into a metamorphic rock. So the igneous rock has been changed into a metamorphic rock through the process of heat and pressure. Got it? Look at the igneous rock one more time. Notice the red arrow that curves around. It starts and ends at the igneous rock. The red arrow says melting and cooling. What's happening here? Well, the igneous rock got pushed really, really deep underground, deep enough to melt back into magma. When the magma cools again, a new igneous rock is formed. So that igneous rock melted and then cooled again to make a new igneous rock. Okay, let's see how you do. Let's work on the sedimentary rock together. It's up at the top. Remember, the sedimentary rock formed when bits of sediment got squeezed together so tightly that it formed a new rock. Three things can happen to this sedimentary rock. What does the red arrow mean? What is happening to this sedimentary rock? Well, the red arrow says melting and cooling, and it points to the igneous rock. So that sedimentary rock got pushed deep, deep underground, melted into magma, and then cooled and formed a new igneous rock. Let's try the purple arrow. What's happening now? Well, the purple arrow says changing temperature and pressure. So that sedimentary rock got pushed underground where the heat and pressure cooked it and it turned into a metamorphic rock. So the sedimentary rock just changed into a metamorphic rock. Okay, so what does that looping green arrow mean? The green arrow says erosion, deposition, and cementation. That means that the sedimentary rock has broken back down again, has formed new layers, and has squeezed and cemented into a brand new sedimentary rock. It changed from a sedimentary rock and then back into a new sedimentary rock. Does this make sense? Okay, there's one more to try. Find the metamorphic rock at the bottom left. Three things can happen to that metamorphic rock. How will the metamorphic rock change into an igneous rock? See if you can find the arrow that shows you how that happens. The red arrow points to the igneous rock. The red arrow says melting and cooling. So the metamorphic rock melted down into magma, cooled, hardened, and formed a new igneous rock. Metamorphic has changed into igneous. Now, how can that metamorphic rock change into a sedimentary rock? See if you can find the arrow that shows you how that happens. The green arrow points to the sedimentary rock. The green arrow says erosion, deposition, and cementation. So that metamorphic rock got broken down into sediment, formed layers, and squeezed and cemented together to form a new sedimentary rock. Metamorphic has changed into sedimentary. Last one. How can the metamorphic rock make a new metamorphic rock? See if you can find the arrow that shows you how that happens. The purple arrow loops around and points back to the metamorphic rock. The purple arrow represents changing temperature and pressure. So that metamorphic rock got pushed underground again, and the heat and pressure cooked it some more until a new metamorphic rock was formed. So that's your trip through the rock cycle. Let's review how to read it. The arrows point from the old type of rock to the new type of rock that's being formed. The arrows explain the process that is causing this to happen to the rock as it changes. So just look at the direction of the arrow, read the arrow, and it will tell you exactly what's happening. Remember, any type of rock can change into any other type of rock under the right conditions. For your notes, I want you to copy this rock cycle into your notebook. Be sure to label each arrow so that you know what's happening at each arrow. Good job. Please let your teacher know if you have any questions.